Near the shores of old Lake Erie stands our alma mater true. Fredonia State we proudly honor, with its colors white and blue.
Hello, and welcome to our latest episode of Reflections of Fredonia. My name is Jack Croxton. I am a retired faculty member from SUNY Fredonia. I taught in the psychology department for over 40 years. In this podcast, we have been interviewing Fredonia alumni to let them talk a little bit about their careers after leaving Fredonia and also to reflect a little bit on some of the experiences they had while they were a student here. We're recording our podcast from right here at Fredonia on campus at the Fredonia Radio Systems, Fredonia's student-run radio system.
My name is Chloe Kowalik. I graduated from Fredonia in May 2024 with my undergrad, and I'm currently pursuing my Master's of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling here at Fredonia as well.
For today's podcast, we have a very special guest. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself by telling us your name and when you graduated from Fredonia?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Dana Gleason, although when I was at Fredonia, my maiden name was Thompson, so some might know me as Dana Thompson. I graduated in May of 1980 and was allowed to walk through graduation. However, I had double majored in music therapy and music education. So I still had a clinical internship in music therapy and student teaching in music education to complete after I walked. So I wasn't actually finished until December of 1981.
So when you started out at Fredonia, did you know right away that you wanted to go into music therapy? And also, what was your specialization in music?
That's a wonderful question. When I was in high school, I found out about music therapy, and I had always thought that I wanted to work with people who were exceptional or special, and I loved music. So when I found out about music therapy in high school, I looked for colleges that had that as a major, and I really never deviated from that course. I was after music therapy from that time. So when I came to Fredonia, I auditioned at several different colleges and universities. I went up to the Crane School of Music in Potsdam, but they only had a course in music and special education. They didn't have a professor in an entire department like Fredonia did. And I was from the Buffalo area, so it was only about an hour away, which my mother very much appreciated. And once I found Fredonia and music therapy, that was it for me.
Okay, and so an instrument you played, or what?
I auditioned on the bassoon, which is, you would think, quite an unusual instrument, but Fredonia had such a wonderful bassoon professor at the time. His name was Dr. John Gillette. He went by Jack Gillette, and he was renowned for his excellence in teaching bassoon. So we had a large studio. There were lots and lots of playing opportunities, and it was just a great place for me to study bassoon. And I still play to this day.
Oh,
Here
that's nice.
I don't even know, 45 years later.
Oh, wow.
And I still play. I play in the Southern Tier Concert Band. I play in a bassoon quartet. I play in the Binghamton Community Orchestra, and then play with other groups as requested.
Wow, you are busy.
Yeah.
I want to say, so I knew Jack Gillette. Actually, we played together on a softball team in the summer. We were McIntyre's Apothecary, and then later on we were the Fredonia Screwballs.
Oh, that's good. That's great. I hate to ask, is he still alive?
I believe he is. I know he and his wife, I think his wife was a piano teacher,
Yes.
And I know they moved out of the area. I want to say they moved somewhere in the southeastern part of the United States.
Okay. Linda Gillette.
Yes, Linda,
Yeah.
correct.
Oh, good. I'm so glad he's still alive. I was
Uh-huh.
afraid I was going to have to be sad.
Oh no. So
There's
Donna, so
there's never there
yes.
was never a kinder, gentler, more intelligent professor. He
Oh,
was just wonderful, as you know.
oh yeah. He was a great teammate.
Hmm.
uh, all right. Do you have any favorite memories or experiences from when you were here at Fredonia?
Well, I would say definitely dormitory life. Um, eh, Probably unlike most students, I stayed on campus for 3.5 years. I didn't move to an apartment until I was doing my student teaching, and most of my friends had already left Fredonia. So I stayed on campus and I became a resident assistant. I lived in Hemingway Hall, which was all girls when I started there. And I made some of the dearest friends that I've ever had in my life and will probably ever have. And I still see them. They're friends from the dorm. We kind of all bonded when we were freshmen. And then I would say I became an RA for my sophomore and junior year. And that was also a wonderful leadership experience. So, probably other than my music ensembles and being a music major, some of my most valuable memories are definitely from the dorms.
Aw, I like that.
Do you have
Yeah.
any memory of any other folks from the music department?
Oh, yeah. One of my dearest friends was also a double major, and she played violin. So, except for the orchestra, we weren't really in too many ensembles together.
Uh-huh.
But she lives on Long Island. She was one of my bridesmaids. I was her maid of honor,
Aw.
and we've just remained very, very close, to this day.
Okay. Any other professors stand out at all?
Um, let's see.
Like, were you in the orchestra and the band and that type of stuff?
Yes, we had Dr. Harry
Oh, Harry John Brown?
Brown, yep, taught me conducting, and he
Okay.
was the conductor. I'll tell you one special memory that I was able to have, and this was because of Fredonia. The chamber ensemble went on tour when I was maybe a junior, and they went between semesters to Spain
Oh.
the day after Christmas, and we were there for New Year's, and we toured around with the chamber singers. And I played bassoon, and my friend Angela played violin. That's probably another reason we had that trip together, that we're so, such close friends.
Uh-huh.
But, cost almost nothing because the music department and the conductor made all the arrangements. But, what a special experience to be able to tour Spain with a performing group from your college.
Wow,
That is
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah. And I was also there for the blizzards of 77 and 78.
Oh, wow. How was that?
Oh, that was amazing. Actually, it was very fun because we came back after the holiday break and it was January and the blizzard came and we were all in the dorms. The dorms had opened, but classes either hadn't started yet or they were canceled for the first couple of
Mm.
days. I remember some of the professors couldn't get in from Buffalo and whatnot. And so we were just there in the dorms, just having fun and chatting. And it was several days of, being snowed in, but we didn't mind at all.
Aw.
Well, I missed out on that because I came here in 1979.
Oh,
There
you
you go.
just missed it.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that though?
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of people when I came
Yeah.
had memories of that event.
Yeah. So we saw that you also ended up getting your Master's of Science in Special Education over at Binghamton University.
Yes.
So what inspired you to continue your education in that area?
Well, I worked for Broome Tioga Boces for 44 years, and I worked with students from ages 5 to 21, all with special needs. some on the autism spectrum, some multiply disabled, some intellectually disabled, and so on. And I needed to know more about the students and how they learned, and more about behavior management. So to me, it was logical to try to find out more about special education. And that was right here in Binghamton. So I was working full time, but I could manage a course or two.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the courses started at either 4:30 or 7, because a lot of the department was students who had full-time jobs teaching. So I took the GREs right away after I started my job, and I started that next semester at BU, and it took me 4.5 years because it's 40 credits or 10 courses. So I just had to whack away at it.
Yeah.
That gave me, I think it was smart personally, because it gave me permanent certification in special ed and permanent certification in music ed. So I had a lot of different job opportunities if I needed them.
What was that? What was that? So you worked some with students with different types of needs, various types of needs. What was that like?
Absolutely wonderful. It was the reason I got up every day for 44 years. I just retired this past June, and I never had to make such a difficult decision. I'm sure it was difficult for you too, right, Dr.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, it's it was my identity, my professional identity. A lot of my friends, my students were very affectionate, and they love music. And so to leave all that was a hard decision. But, ultimately I thought, my gosh, I don't want to be the oldest teacher in the whole school and be 75 years old and have everybody say, why doesn't she retire? She's too old.
So working as a music therapist,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, were there certain? What was your approach? I mean, what was your philosophy, being a music therapist? How did you approach your job?
Well, with music therapy, if you can teach them anything about music, like a music educator would, that's wonderful. We taught them rhythm. We taught them, the names of the notes and to recognize the notes. But we also worked on all of the other things that they need, which is why they're in a special education program, such as cognitive skills, their behavior, social skills, fine and gross motor skills, those kinds of things, speech and language development. And because most people respond to music and the music activities seem fun, if you will, they don't realize that they're working on those very crucial skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very very good approach to helping that population.
Yeah, it was just wonderful. And as part of my job there, and as a member of the American Music Therapy Association, I started a music therapy internship at BOCES. And over the years, from 1984 to maybe just a semester before I retired, I had about 57 interns from all over the country.
Wow.
Because with music therapy, you have to do a 6-month clinical internship where you get real hands-on, everyday experience with the population of your choice. So if they wanted to work with music in special education and with special learners, they would apply to the internship at BOCES. And I had 57. So they came from all over, Texas, Colorado, Florida.
Great. So the folks that you've worked with over the years, have any of them stayed in touch?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, lots of the interns. I see them on Facebook, or they'll text, or I hear from them, with a Christmas card. Yeah, that was really rewarding. You get to know somebody pretty well in 6 months.
Sure. Now, how about some of your clients? Have they stayed in touch too? some of the people that you've worked with as a musical therapist?
If I see them out in the community, they always remember me. They'll come right up to me and, oh, Miss Anna. And one of the most memorable things I probably did with the students was I started a handbell choir. I don't know if you're familiar with English handbells.
Okay. Yeah.
They're very, very expensive, and most schools don't have them. But BOCES shared my vision, and they bought the first octave. And then we fundraised for the second and third octave. We had bake sales and all kinds of different fundraisers. They're probably worth, I would say, $6,000 to $8,000 now.
Oh, wow.
But we've been using them for literally 40 years. I have had them refurbished. But one of the greatest purposes of those handbells, because they're relatively easy for the students to play, is to get them out in the community and let them perform for others. So over the years, we played at senior citizen centers, nursing homes, American Legion Post, Granges, church groups, and everywhere they went on tour, if you will, to do a concert in the community. Of course, people were very reinforcing to them, and it was great for their social skills. They got to talk with people they didn't know, practice their best behavior out in public, dress up, good grooming, the works. And that feeling of self-esteem, that heightened perception of self, though they had a disability, this was something they were good at and they could display proudly. And that was probably one of the most rewarding things. So when they see me now and they tell me how old they are,
Yeah.
I'm 45, you know.
That's right.
But being in that handbell choir, that was like a once in a lifetime school experience for them that they always remember.
Well, what a great opportunity you provided. I'm sure that's really was a wonderful, memorable experience for the folks who participated.
Right. And it was for me too. And I always use the interns so that, you know, they got that practical experience doing performing ensemble with the students. So yeah, it was just great.
What would you say was your favorite part about your job? And maybe tell us a little bit about the toughest challenges you faced.
Probably my favorite part of the job is seeing how the students change and progress over time. Some of them are quite severely disabled, and you wouldn't think that they would. But when you see them over the course of several years, you know, maybe they come in as a kind of a little wild 5-year-old, and then all of a sudden by age 10, 12, 14, they've just grown and matured so much. And that's not due just to music, of course, but the experiences that we provided in music hopefully added to the total picture of the student and what they could do. So that was probably one of the most rewarding. And we always had talent shows and concerts and provided assemblies for them. It's just a whole, I think music is so enriching. I think it's just very, very good for students with special needs and other people. Psychiatric, geriatric, music therapists work with lots of different populations.
Did you think that were there any real particular challenges for you, you know, working with the folks with these disabilities?
I think as I got older, the students that were a little more aggressive and violent, that got to be a challenge. You know, once I was like 60, 65, and I remember one time I actually fell over the student because he got under my feet, and I thought, oh gosh, I'm going to fall down and break a hip or something. I don't know if I should still be doing this.
Oh, wow.
And the schedule was very challenging.
Sure.
We had groups every single half hour all day long except for lunch. And it's still that way. So it's a very, very hectic pace. And I don't know. I just, after 44 years, I didn't want that hectic pace anymore.
Well, I'm sure you made a big difference in people's lives over that 44 years. That's for sure.
Well, I tried. I always tried my best. I always showed up to work, except if I was deathly ill or if I had just had one of my children or something. But I was always there. I was always devoted and dedicated to it.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel your time at Fredonia helped to shape your career and where you are today?
Well, definitely. Had you ever heard of Dr. Connie Williford?
Oh, sure. I remember Connie Williford.
Yeah. So she was our professor in the music therapy department. And she was just so knowledgeable and so kind and gentle. And you could talk to her about anything. She was such a good advisor. And she knew so much about music therapy. I definitely, even though we have more knowledge about different, the etiology of different special needs, we know more about that now. We know more about autism than we did back then. But her belief and her philosophy that you could use music to change behavior and work on the other things that people need was just like, that was a tenet of my education.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Oh,
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel that you've definitely benefited from those kinds of experiences and have been able to pass that on to affect many people's lives.
And I would say the same thing in the music education department. I had just some amazing Thomas Rogalski, Dr. Rogalski.
Tom.
Yeah.
I remember Tom Rogalski. He was an extremely bright person.
Oh, off the charts.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, I think I knew that
Yeah.
or heard that.
But I just remember he gave a very scholarly lecture one time about music, pedagogy, or something, and it went way over my head.
Yeah, he was really, really a fine professor, very intelligent.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What advice would you offer for current Fredonia students?
Who are music majors or just anything?
That's up to you, either one.
For music majors, I would say go to your classes, go to your lessons, learn as much about music as you possibly can. Don't skip things, go to concerts, go to recitals, practice, and just get the most out of being in that total immersion in a department where you belong. You got there because you auditioned. You got there because you show promise on your instrument or your voice or whatever your specialty happens to be. So just get in there and soak it up and take advantage of as many opportunities as you can. And for any student, I would say, get along with others in the dorm, learn to live with other people. There's give and take. It can't always be your way. You're going to have probably a roommate or suite mates or people on the hall. Be friendly, do things with them, be social, but never forget what you're there for. You're there to get an education. So study, take your tests, write your papers, don't cheat, show up, go to your classes, and just do the very best you can to get the best education possible.
Well, you've certainly given a lot of good advice today, and it just seems like you've been so sincere in everything that you've been talking about this afternoon. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Do you have anything else you might like to add?
No, I just want to say that I've been looking forward to this so much. It's kind of nice when you're an alumni of my age to know that someone still wants to reach out and hear about your college experience. And, you feel like you're not forgotten. Um, and I just have been looking forward to this, and I really appreciate the time you took to record the interview. I hope it's helpful, um, and I've really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you so much for being on our podcast today. So I think that just about wraps things up. I
Oh,
am Jack Croxton.
And I'm Chloe Kowalik, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Sing its glory and its praises. Let them ring forever true. Beloved is our alma mater, Fredonia State